I am excited to be bringing you this video. I know that some of you made some weight loss resolutions, and I'm glad that you did, because health, no matter what you're doing in life, is always an important factor, right? So just got to keep it real with you right there. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the things, some of the mistakes. Let's call them mistakes. We should call them opportunities, learning opportunities, however you want to phrase them. I call them the 5 biggest mistakes of weight loss, because frankly, that's exactly what they were. I now see the error of my ways, and I just wanted to share with you a couple of those. So in this video series, I'm going to make a series of 5 videos, and in each one of those videos, I'm going to share one of those things that I perceive as a mistake. Now, are there more than 5 that I made? Absolutely, there are more than 5, but let's start with the 5. These are maybe the 5 biggest ones that I think really hurt me probably the most in my entire journey. Excuse me, on my entire journey. So the first one that I really want to talk about is not being my own best friend. So let's first talk about how we want to define a best friend. How do you define a best friend? I know that how I've always defined a best friend, and maybe that's changed a little bit, but the basics are still always there. It was someone that I could always count on. I could always depend on. It was a judgment-free zone. There was unconditional love from this person. Not as in, oh, lovey, she loves me, but she didn't judge me in the way that I knew if I went to her with something, I was going to get something real. I might get a hug, I might get some sage advice, I might get, oh, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay, or he was a loser anyway, you don't need him, girlfriend. You know what I'm talking about. So what I'm realizing now, when I'm looking back and I'm looking over some of the things that I really could have been better at for myself, I could have been there for myself. I could have been my own best friend, and I wasn't. Now I understand like how important that was. Like I didn't really, I'm not the kind of person that I really wanted to hang out with. I don't know if you're this way, where things are kind of going my way, I like myself, in terms of the scale. Let's talk about the scale. I like the number on the scale, everything is great, I love myself, I'm doing so great, but as soon as things turn south, what do you mean I gained 2 pounds? Well, 5, like what is up with that? As I'm looking down at the imaginary scale that I would pretend to have right there. And then I would say things that were not so nice to myself, things that I would never say to someone else. Maybe you say also things to yourself that you would never say to your best friend or to any friend. She doesn't even have to be your best friend. What are some of the things that you realize maybe that you've been saying to yourself? Some of the things that I used to say to myself were, God, really? If you hadn't had that extra piece of pie, if you'd only had 1 slice of cake instead of 2, you really are fat. You're never going to get into those black pants or that white top that you've had hanging in the closet now, that you've been looking at and dreaming of getting into. It's never going to happen. Would we actually say that to a friend? Like if they called us up and said, oh my God, I gained 5 pounds. Is that something we would say to a friend? Would we literally say to them, okay, seriously, how many pieces of cake did you have yesterday? I know I wouldn't say that. Maybe some of you would. And then you might not actually have that friend for long. But just saying, we should be kinder to ourselves. Do we love ourselves unconditionally? Do we have the thoughts that constantly tear us down to where we don't even want to hang out with ourselves? So then we look for other people to lift us up and make us feel better. And that's why we actually call our friend to begin with, is because we want to feel better about something that's going on, something that we don't like about ourselves. It never like dawned on me that I didn't have to think those thoughts as if they weren't an option. I think what ends up happening is that we've been thinking them for so long that now it's like the new normal. And we think that it's normal and it's the way we should all be living, that we just tear ourselves down. And sometimes we do it so that no one else will. So if we could already make ourselves feel worse, then you can't possibly make me feel worse, because I've already said it to myself. Folks, this is not how we should be living. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, I think as women, sometimes perhaps we are better at this than perhaps the men are. I know I've said some things to my husband that I've said, and he just kind of looks at me like, what the hell? Like, did you actually say that? It's like, okay, yeah, really revealing moment here. You know, maybe I shouldn't have told you that I ever said that to myself, but I did. So anyway, so I think the lesson there for me was I just need to learn, and have been learning, to be my own friend. Be nice to myself. When I see myself in the mirror, don't automatically go to, oh God, you still got those thighs. Those thighs are still haunting you. You're gonna do so. You should do some more leg lifts. You're like giving myself my own internal advice. You should do some more squats. You should do some more lunges. You know, because it's not just me who has advice for me. It's like everyone else around me, like in this world, that would also have some advice for me. So I think being nicer, loving right where we are, making peace right where we are. And I never could do that before. I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know it was important, but it is very important. So that was mistake number one for me in my weight loss journey, and I just wanted to share that with you. And I wonder, perhaps you have lost weight multiple times like I did. And, you know, Tony Robbins always talks about the blueprint, that we will always settle on the blueprint that we believe that we are to be. The person that we believe we are was who we'll always revert back to. And I never actually understood what that meant. But now I see that the self-talk, the negative self-talk, the thought patterns, the things that I have been saying to myself and had said to myself over and over and over again for many years, are the very things that would bring me right back to where I began. And like past the starting line. So I wonder, maybe, surely I'm not alone in this. I can't be alone. I'm sure that I'm not, but I have felt that I was alone with this one mistake. But if you have made similar mistakes in your weight loss journey, I would love if you would share them below. Just let me know what they were, or if this one resonates with you and what you did to fix it, maybe. So stay tuned for my next video that will talk about the second mistake of the 5 that I consider my biggest mistakes during my weight loss journey. And I look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day.